Welcome to Free Tutorial TV and a tutorial about the PyQt6 course. In this lesson, we are going to learn that how we can install PyQt, what IDE we are going to use, and how we can build our first simple GUI application using Python and also PyQt. Now, before installation of PyQt, we need to download and install Python because PyQt is a Python library. And for using of PyQt and building the graphical user interface application using PyQt, we need to download and install Python. So you can just go to the python.org and according to our operating system, you can download Python version. And now I'm using Python 3.9 and you can just choose download, and from here you can just download Python. And after that, you can just simply install that. Now after installation of Python, we need an IDE. Now there are different IDEs that you can use, but I am using PyCharm IDE in this course, and you can just go to the jetbrains.com, and there are two versions of PyCharm IDE. We have a professional editions and we have a community edition. Now professional edition, it is a paid version and it's a version for this, and you need to buy this. There are different features for this professional edition. Now the second edition is a community edition and it's completely free and open source edition. And if you can download, you can see it free and open source, and you can just download the file type according to our operating system and you can install that. So I have already installed it. Now I have already installed PyCharm IDE, and installation process is so simple and easy. And also I have created a new project at the name of PyQt tutorial with a virtual environment now in PyCharm IDE, and it's so easy that you can create a project along with the virtual environment. You can just click on the file new project, and from here you can just give the name of projects, for example whatever you want, and you can just give it. After that, in here, if you see if you're using virtual environment as we are using in this course, you can just choose new virtual environment using virtual env. And also you can see that I'm using Python 3.9. If you are not using any virtual environment, you can just choose it previously configured the interpreter, and you can just click on create. Now after creating of the project, we need to install PyQt. Now if you see a Riverbank Computing, there are different ways that you can install PyQt. The easiest way is that you can just use pip, and you can just say pip install PyQt6 and it will install the latest version of PyQt. Now let's get install this, and you can just open PyCharm IDE, and in here we can choose terminal and paste the hit enter. Now we are waiting for the installation. The latest version of PyQt has been installed. Now let's create our first graphical user interface window using PyQt. Now I am here to just create a new directory that I'm just going to call it part 1. And in this part 1, I want to create a new Python file. So you can just right click new, and in here Python file, and you can just call it mywindow.py. So first thing is that we need to import our module and also classes. Now in PyQt, everything is a module, and modules are divided into different classes. Now for example, we can just use pyqt6.qt widgets imports. We want to import applications and also q widgets. Now if you see in here, it's a widgets, it's a module, and from the Qt widgets we have imported Q applications and also Q widgets. The Qt widgets module contains classes that provides a set of UI element to create a classic desktop style user interface. There are about 138 classes that are related to Q widgets module. For example, we have Q application, Q widgets, we have Q level, and these are the different modules that are related to Qt. Different classes are related to Qt widgets module also. For example, we have a Qt GUI module for importing Q application and Q widgets. We need to import syst. Now the first thing is that we need to create the object of this Q application. So we can just see app equal to Q application. Now this the Queue application class manages the GUI application control flow and the main setting. Now Queue application specializes Queue's GUI application and some functionality needed for Qt best application for any GUI application using Qt. There are precisely one application objects, and no matter whether the application has 0, 1, 2 or more windows. Now, and here we can leave it empty list if you are not using any command line or a command utility or prompt. If you are using a command line or command prompt utility, then you can just make it like sys.argv. After creating the object of the Queue application, we need to create an object of our window type. There are two different types of windows in the classes, that we have a Queue widgets and we have Queue main windows and we have a Queue dialog. So we'll talk about this Queue widgets. For right now we are using Queue widgets, so we can just say window equal to, we need to create objects of Queue widgets. After that we need to show our window. There is a method in Queue widget class that we can use, that's called show. We can just say window dot show. Also we need to execute this application, so we can say sys.exit f.exec. Now if you are in QQT5, you can just use it like this, and if I run this, you can see that I am receiving error. The application object has no attribute, exit not exit, sorry, this is execute, so we just remove this, execute. Now if you're in PyQt5, you can just use it like this app.execute. If I run this, you can see that I'm receiving error that Queue object has no attribute, execute. But if you are in PyQt6, then you need to just remove this. And in PyQt5, there is no problem. If I run this, you can see that I'm using first graphical user interface window. But right now you can see that I don't have any title or any icon, but we'll create that. And this is our GUI window, and we have a minimize, maximize, and also we can just close this window. Thank you. We will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Have a nice time.